Hi, I'm Monique. This is a strength builder class focusing on our legs. The pose we'll be working towards is dancer pose, which is a beautiful pose that requires balance and flexibility. During our practice today, we will be focusing on joy. Psalm 94 verse 19 says, "When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy." God's comfort brings us joy. When we are feeling down, upset, or worried, let us change our focus to the comfort we can find in God and let us feel joy. God loves us. He is always there for us. He has a plan. He is our shelter, provider, and healer. There is much to be joyful about. We are not alone. The fact that I am never alone and God has a perfect plan for me brings me comfort and joy. So let's bring that joy into our practice today. Let's get started. So we're going to start in child's pose with our big toes together, knees apart, and coming down. Your arms can be stretched out, or if you want, they can be stacked up with your head resting on them. So we're just going to take a moment here to start to focus on our breath. We're going to inhale through our nose and exhale. Our exhales are matching our inhales so that we have that cycle of breath, making sure that our breath is long and slow and deep. And just taking a moment here to meditate on the word. We have so much to be joyous about. God's plan, His love, brings me so much comfort and joy. So just pause here and thinking about joy and how we can bring this into our flow today and then take it off the mat and into our life. Slowly bring your head up. We're going to plant down through our forearms, slide our body between our arms, following our chin, and coming into Cobra Pose. We're going to bring our hands out, so we're on our fingertips, and bringing our chest up and opening it to the heavens. This is going to start to prepare our back for our dancer pose. And breathing here. Our thighs and the tops of our feet are pressing down into the ground. We're going to exhale, slowly lower your body, bend your arms, then inhale up, then exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and inhale up. And then lowering your forearms down. Then bring your hands beside your chest, pushing up, and we're coming onto our hands and knees. So checking that your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Planting through your left hand and your right leg, we're going to lift that left leg up, then reach that right arm in front, then come around and grab the top of your foot. So we're coming into tiger pose. So press that foot into the hand, looking out in front of you, opening your chest. And then slowly lower that hand down, bring the leg up into your chest to squeeze, and then plant it out in front of you. So you might need to edge that foot forward a little bit. And just breathing here. Then bending that back leg up, taking that right hand to the foot, slowly work it into your elbow, inner elbow. Lift that front arm and then see if your hands can come together for high king pigeon. If they can't, you can just have your arm out in front, that is fine. Then slowly release down. We're going to bring our hips back to over our knee. Bring that front foot up onto your heel. And pausing here for half monkey. And then exhale forward. Inhale, pull back. Your spine's nice and long. Exhale forward. Inhale, pull back. And then coming back to low lunge. Come up onto your toes. Then we're going to come into standing splits. And slowly start to bring that weight in, lifting that back leg up for standing splits. It's okay if it doesn't come right up, that is fine. Then we're going to swap hands. So our left hand is going to come out in front, under our shoulder. Bring that right arm up, and we're going to open our hips for half moon. So you're powering down through that left leg. Then you might like to bend that top foot in, see if your hand can grab it, and push it up for a variation. Slowly release, and then square your hips to the mat. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer pose. Come to warrior 3. So your toes are reaching back and your head forward. Nice long line. Then bend that back leg up into your chest. Give it a hug in. And then you can tap down. So we're going to come into some dancer poses. So plant through that left leg. Our beginner version is that you bend that right leg up and your hand takes the outside of your foot. Then you're going to reach those fingers forward and looking over, and your foot presses into your hand. And we're making sure that our hips are square and they're even. So find a spot out in front to look at, and then slowly release back. And then tap that foot down. So our next variation is intermediate. So you're going to take the inside of the foot, hands out in front again, start to push that foot into the hand and coming up. And you'll be able to come up a little bit higher. Still keeping those hips square and opening your chest. Then slowly lower back and tap down. Give your legs a little wriggle. There's lots of energy going on there. So our next ones are a bit more advanced. So if you want to repeat those ones, that is fine. So our next one is our king dancer pose. You're going to bend that right leg, and your right hand is going to take your big toe. So take your big toe, your thumb is on the nail. Then we're starting to lift that leg up, the hips are still square. Start to bring that arm over, bending your back. Then the left hand might be able to take the right arm, or you might be able to work your way back. And then lifting that leg and looking out in front. And then slowly lower down. Back to the ground. Give your legs a little wriggle here. Okay. Then we're going to come back to the top of our mat. Weight is even through our feet. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, arms down, fold from your hips for forward bend. Then inhale, come to half bend. Then exhale, back to forward bend. Step those feet back to downward facing dog. Feet are hip width apart. Your ribs are to your spine. And just pause here. Thinking about the joy that we have. Because God loves us. He is always with us. He's our comforter, our shelter. He has an amazing plan for us. There is so much joy that we can have in our life because of this. Then coming to plank pose. So your shoulders over your wrists, then lower to yogi push-up, and then lower all the way down. So coming into cobra again. So fingertips out in front, slightly lifting up, and just breathe here. Opening our chest, just like we did in Dancer Pose. So we're warming up again, ready for the other side. So slightly lower your chest down, bend those arms, then inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale down. Lower those forearms down, and then bring your hands to either side of your chest, pushing up to your knees. So your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. And this time we're planting through that right hand and your left leg. So lifting that right leg up, and then reach the left arm out and around, grabbing that back foot. And then when you're stable, pushing into the hand, looking out, opening your chest for Tiger Pose. Finding balance here as we do in Dancer Pose. Then slowly lower that left arm down, bring that right leg into your chest and plant between your hands. And just pausing here. Bring that foot a little bit further forwards. We're going to bend that back leg in. We're coming into upward king pigeon. So try to bring that left foot into the fold of that left elbow. And then if you can, bring that right arm up and over and see if your hands can meet here. Finding a gaze point, looking forwards. Then slowly release. Hands down. We're going to bring our hips back over that knee, that front heel, coming to the front heel, the toes are up for half monkey. And then exhale forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale forward. Inhale, pull back. Spine is nice and long. Then exhale forward. Bring your hands next to your foot. Come onto your back toes. Okay, so start to bring that weight into that front leg and shooting the back leg up for standing splits. Doesn't matter if it doesn't come up high. Then bring those right fingertips out under your shoulder. Lift the left hand up and open your hips for half moon. And if you're stable, you can bend that top leg. Your hand takes that foot and then presses up for a variation. Then slowly release. Square your hips to your mat. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer pose for Warrior 3. So back toes to the back wall and head forwards. Then bend that planted leg. Start to bring that back foot in. Hug it into your chest. And then lower it down. So again, we're coming into our dancer poses on the other side. So planting through that right foot. Bend your left leg and your hand takes the top of the foot from the outside for our beginner's version. Arms stretched out in front, and then push your foot into your hand. Start to bring your chest forwards, your hips are square, and looking out in front. Then slowly come back, release down, tap down. Then bring it back up. Then come to the inside of your foot now. Arms forward. And then pushing into that hand. Coming up a bit higher if you can. Remember to keep those hips square. Then chest open. Slowly release down. And tap down. And give your legs a little wriggle. So again, we're coming into the more advanced version. So if you're not feeling comfortable with that, just do either one of those versions again. So planting through that right leg. Bend your left leg up. Your left fingers are taking your big toe. So your thumb is on your big toe's nail. Then we're going to start to lift that leg up. And you kind of twist up. Bring that right hand over. See if you can grab it, or the left arm. And then lifting that leg higher. Making sure that your hips are still square. Open your chest. Slowly release. Down. Give your legs a little wriggle again. And then coming to the top of your mat. Weight is even through your feet. We're going to inhale, arms out and up. Then exhale, arms down. Come to forward fold. Let your head hang. Inhale, come to half fold. Exhale, back to forward fold. Then step those feet back to downward facing dog. And pausing here. And feeling joy. Letting that feeling spread through your body as we meditate on the word. Remember to take this feeling of joy off the mat today and out into your life. Plant through those hands and that right foot. We're going to lift our left leg up for three-legged downward facing dog. Then exhale, bring it into your chest, and we're going to lower the outer part of the leg down. So your left knee is near your hand, your left hand. And we're lowering the right leg down as well for Pigeon Pose. If this is a bit uncomfortable, you can get a pillow and put it underneath to help your hips be even. So then you can either stay here or bend that back leg in and start to work the foot into the fold of your right elbow. And then lift that arm up for Mermaid Pose or King Pigeon. And then looking forwards, slightly up to the heavens. This is one of my favorite poses. It brings a beautiful stretch into your buttocks and your hip. Releases so much tension from there. And then slowly releasing down. Then walk your arms, your hands out in front. You might like to tap your forehead down. And then coming up. And then we're going to bring our both buttocks down now. Our legs are coming out for wide-legged seated pose. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale and then exhale. Walk those hands out in front. Coming to wherever you can. So even if you're just here, that's fine. Or you can lower your forearms down and let your head hang. And breathing here. So your toes are flexed. If this is feeling too strong, you can have a slight bend in your knees here. Then walk those hands in. And we're going to come to the back of our mat now. So we're coming onto the other side, bending that left leg. Push your hands down, lift those hips, and then lower down again. So adjust yourself. So now your left knee to the right hand. And then look up. Bend that back knee in. Into the elbow. And then looking forwards. And breathing. If you can't get your hands to touch, that's okay. It's quite a strong stretch on your lower back. So just always come to wherever feels best for you. Never force anything. We need to find that balance between comfort and challenge, but never any pain. Then slowly release down. Walk those hands out. And you might like to tap that forehead down. And breathing here. And then looking up, walk those hands back, plant those hands down, come onto your back toes, and then we're going to take that front leg back, and we're coming into child's pose. So our final resting pose today. So our big toes are together, our knees are spread and lowering down. So again, you can have your arms stacked, stretched out, or you might even like to have a block here for your head to rest on. So whatever feels best for you. And this is where we're going to stay. You can stay here for as long as you like, meditating on the word. Maybe you need to ask God for some joy. Maybe you want to thank Him for everything that He's given you that brings you joy. Either one, God does not mind. He just loves to talk to you. So enjoy His presence. Be open to the whispers He may have for you. When you're ready, slowly bring your head up, walk your hands in, and then come to cross-legged pose. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and just do one last inhale and exhale. Open your eyes. Thanks for joining me on the mat today.